Bismillahi walhamdulillahi wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillahi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man wala. Okay, if you open your books, we are now on page 33, which is Ad-Darsu Sadisu. So before we start with this lesson, I'm just going to give a bit of an introduction to this lesson so that you know what this lesson is about. This lesson is dealing with the usage of the word hadihi, meaning this, but the feminine form of the word this, which is, if you remember lesson number 1, the word we learned then was hadha, also meaning this, but that is used only for men and for masculine items, while the word hadihi is used for females and for feminine items. I did allude to it in the previous lesson when I pointed out a certain example that was used, which was feminine. I think the sentence was haqiba, and they said hiya tahta al-maktabi, that it, meaning the briefcase, is under the desk. So the word hadihi is used for feminine things rather than hadha. Okay, so we can start the lesson now. Page 33. It starts and it says Ad-Darsu Sadisu. Lesson number 6. هذه, meaning this. هذا ابن حامد وهذه بنت ياسر. This is Hamid's son and this is Yasir's daughter. If you look again at the second word in this sentence, it is هذا ibnu, but if you look at that alif, it's got that little thing on top there to show that this is a hamzatul wasl, meaning you join straight and you say هذا ibnu instead of saying هذا ibnu Hamidin. It is permissible to say so, but the manner that is being taught here in this book is you say straight through هذا ابن حامد, you act upon this hamzatul wasl. So yes, هذا ابن حامد وهذه بنت ياسر. وهذه, that's هذه feminine word because it is a girl, bintu, the daughter of Yasir. Second example, he says ابن حامد جالس وبنت ياسر واقفة. That Hamid, the son of Hamid, is sitting and the daughter of Yasir is standing. If you look at the word waqifatun here, you notice that it has a ta marbuta on the end. This will be taught now in the lesson itself, but just to give a brief introduction here. Any masculine word that you would like to attribute to a female, it is necessary for you to make that word feminine as well. If you remember in lesson 1 or lesson 2, we did the al-mudarrisu waqifun, that the male teacher is standing. Waqifun was used, but now here, because the word is being referred to a girl, which is the daughter of Yasir, so therefore it has to, this word standing has also have to be transformed into a feminine word. That is why it becomes wa bintu Yasirin waqifatun. The way you change a masculine word into a feminine word is very simple. Any word which is masculine, for instance, let's say, take Muslimun. Muslim is a very famous masculine word. So if you want to change it to a feminine word, the last letter of Muslim is a mim. So instead of saying Muslimun, you give that last mim a fatha, a zabr, and then you add the small ta marbuta on it, and there you go. Then it will become muslimatun, from muslimun to muslimatun. Likewise here you take waqifun. Originally waqifun, the fa has this dopesh, this dhammatain, but now you shift that dhammatain onto the ta marbuta and you give the fa, you give it a fatha, a zabr, so then it becomes waqifatun. And the same you will do with the rest of the words. So let's move on with the book. The next example he gives is, and he say, Man hadihi, who is this? Of course, hadihi again, a feminine word. So you're referring to who is this woman, in other words. It says, Hadihi ukhtul muhandisi. This is the engineer's sister. Ukht meaning sister. People sometimes have this misconception where they think ukhti means sister. That is incorrect. Ukht means sister. Ukhti means my sister. Okay, that will come in a later lesson, saying ukhtuhu, ukhtuha, ukhtuna, all that type of words. attributing it to so on and so forth, his sister, her sister, so and so on. But for now, we're just doing the word here, which is ukht, which is just meaning plain and simple sister. The next one he says, Ahiya aydan muhandisatun. Is she also an engineer? If you look here again, the word muhandisun, which means an engineer, it was changed into a feminine word because it is now being, the sister of the engineer is being described, so the description also has to become feminine. That is why from muhandisun it changes into muhandisatun. The sin gets a fatha and the tanween gets transferred from the sin onto the ta marbuta. Muhandisatun. Okay, the next one he gives now the answer to this question that was posed. Is she also an engineer? And the answer is given and it said, La hiya tabibatun. No, she is a doctor. Again, the word tabib, tabibun, for a male doctor, you put a ta marbuta onto the word. You transfer the tanween from the ba onto the ta marbuta and you give the ba a fatha, a zabr, and there you go, you're sitting with the word tabibatun. Next example. He says, Sayyaratu man hadhihi. Whose car is this? If you look at the word sayyara, the word sayyara is a feminine word, which is pointed out by the ta marbuta on the end of the word. Sin, ya, alif, ra, ta marbuta. Generally, a ta marbuta will point out that the word is feminine in most cases. There are certain exceptional cases, but like I said, there are exceptions to the rule. The rule is the ta marbuta will generally point out a feminine word. So, because the word sayyara is a feminine word, therefore the word hadhihi had to be used to refer to the sayyara. You could not say sayyaratu man hadha. You can't use hadha for sayyara. And likewise, you cannot use hadhihi for a male word, masculine word. So the answer given, the question is asked, whose car is this? Then the answer given is, hadhihi sayyaratul mudiri. This is the principal's car. The next example he gives, ma hadhihi. What is this? Hadhihi mikwatun. This is an iron. If you look at the picture there, it's an iron to iron your clothing with. Mikwah is the word. It means an instrument of ironing. So basically an iron. Moving on to page 34. The first example is liman hadhihi. For who is this? This lam gives the meaning of for as a question. Liman, for who? Hadhihi, this thing. So liman hadhihi, who is this for? Now hadhihi, because the thing that is being referred to, although it is not mentioned here, but the thing that is being talked about is feminine. That is why liman hadhihi, for who is this feminine item? For instance, you can say sayyaratun, because that is a feminine word. So liman hadhihi, and in your, what is understood from the speech is that you are referring to the car. So then you say hadhihi li Khalidin, that this is for Khalid. This hadhihi is going back to the word which is hidden, which is the car, sayyara. Okay, moving on, he says, Adarrajatu Anasin hadhihi. Is this Anas's bicycle? Darraja means a bicycle. So that's why, because of darraja being bicycle, that is why the word hadhihi is used. So the reply is given and it says, La hadhihi darrajatu Ammarin. No, this is Ammar's bicycle. Hadhihi jadidatun wa darrajatu Anasin qadimatun. This is new, meaning this bicycle is new. Wa darrajatu Anasin qadimatun, and Anas's bicycle is old. Next example, he says, Hadhihi sa'atu Aliyin. This is Ali's watch. Hiya jamilatun jiddan. It is very beautiful. If you, okay, I'll explain that after I read the next example. He says, Hadhihi mil'aqatun wa hadhihi قدر, not قدر, قدر. الملعقة في القدر. He says here, this is a spoon. ملعقة means a spoon. وهذه قدر is a cooking pot or a container. قدر. Then he says الملعقة في القدر, that the spoon is in the cooking pot. Just as a matter of as a note to take down here, the word qidr, although there is no ta marbuta on it, but it is actually a feminine word. That is why he says وَهَذِهِ قِدْرٌ and not وَهَذَا قِدْرٌ. But now what I wanted to mention, the previous lesson which we did yesterday was about mudaf and mudaf ilayh, the possessor and the item which is being possessed. So if you look here in this example of هَذِهِ مِلْعَقَةٌ, you'll notice that it has a tun, it has a tanween on it, and similarly it goes on وَهَذِهِ قِدْرٌ, again tanween. But when you look at the one above it, it says هَذِهِ سَاعَةُ عَلِيٍّ, no tanween on it. The reason why this is سَاعَةُ is because سَاعَةُ is the mudaf and عَلِيٍّ is the mudaf ilayh. Sa'a, this watch, is the possessed item, and Ali is the possessor of the watch. So the mudaf, as I mentioned yesterday, a mudaf cannot have tanween. It can never have tanween. Neither can a mudaf have an alif and lam on it. So you can never have هذه or هذه الساعة علي. Cannot come like that. It can only be هذه ساعة علي. Nor can you have it هذه ساعة علي. Both ways is incorrect. The correct way, because of it being a mudaf, it can only have a single haraka, fatha, dhamma, kasra on it. So it will be هذه ساعة علي. That is just by the way. It says هذه بقرة الفلاح, that this is the farmer's cow. Baqarah meaning a cow and fallah meaning a farmer. So because of baqarah being a feminine animal, that is why the word هذه again is used. The next example, he says هذا أنف وهذا فم. This is a nose and this is a mouth. Anf means a nose, fam means a mouth. Moving on quickly just to page 35. I'm going to explain this word quickly, but let me just move on to page 35. If you look at the first example, he says هذه أذن وهذه عين, that this is an ear and this is an eye. But why does he use هذه for an ear and eye, and why he uses هذا for a nose and mouth? The reason for that is where body parts are concerned. When the human body has only one of that part, for instance a heart or a brain or a head, for instance, those words will be masculine. But any part where there is two of it, for instance a person has 2 ears, 2 eyes, 2 cheeks, so on and so forth, those words will all be feminine. Of course, if you look at the word ayn or udhun or any of them for that matter, they don't have the ta marbuta to point it out to you. That is why I say certain words are an exception to the case. Body parts are part of that exception. Okay, moving on, he says وَهَذِهِ يَدٌ وَهَذِهِ رِجْلٌ. This is a hand and this is a hand and this is a foot. Yad meaning hand and rijl meaning foot. Again, because a person has 2 hands and 2 feet, that is why both hand and foot is both feminine words. Okay, here's a question here. Can both be used in the same sentence, as in هذه أذن وهذا أنف? Yes, perfectly fine, as long as those which have pairs, such as the ears, as long as they are used with هذه, and those which are single are used simply with هذا. So if you use them in one sentence, it's perfectly fine. Okay, moving on to the examples, to the exercises. He says tamarinu, exercises. Number 1, اقرأ واكتب, read and write. Number 1, هذا مسجد وهذه مدرسة. This is a masjid and this is a madrasa. You notice again the usage of the word هذا and هذه. Masjid being masculine uses the word هذا. Madrasa being feminine uses the word هذه. Number 2. Man هذه. Who is this? Of course, every time you refer to a female, you will always use the word هذه. So the reply given is هذه أخت عباس. This is Abbas's sister. Number 3. هذا ديك وهذه دجاجة. هذا ديك meaning this is a rooster. وهذه دجاجة and this is a chicken. دجاجة means chicken, and because of that ta marbuta on the end showing that it is a feminine word, that is why the word هذه is used. Number 4. هذا ابن المدير وهذه بنت المدرس. This is the principal's son and this is the teacher's daughter. Number 5. هذه أم ياسر. This is Yasir's mother. Meaning mother. Number 6. أين قدر اللحم. Where is the container with the meat in it? Basically, where is the meat container? The reply given is هي في الثلاجة. It is in the fridge. ثلاجة means a fridge, a refrigerator. Number 7. هذا باب وهذه نافذة. This is a door and this is a window. نافذة means window. Okay, that is the end of page 35. We can now move on to page 36. This is now like more exercises. Without giving you the words, you want to give the meanings of all these words, taking into consideration the lesson which we have done now about masculine and feminine items. So here he says, number 2, ما هذا وما هذه. What is this masculine item? وما هذه, and what is this feminine item? So here you need to look at the pictures. The first picture they give is of a pen. The Arabic word is qalam. So ما هذا, هذا قلم. What is this? This is a pen because qalam is a masculine word. Number 2, a picture is of a spoon. Spoon is mil'aqa, which is a feminine word as is indicated by the ta marbuta on the end. So you say ما هذه, هذه ملعقة. What is this? This is a spoon. The third example he gives is of a book. So we say هذا كتاب. The fourth one is of a shirt. ما هذا, هذا قميص. Kitab and qamis both are masculine words, so therefore we use the word هذا for it. The next line he gives a picture of a house, which is baytun. So baytun, the ta which is in baytun is the big ta, not a ta marbuta. So therefore the word bayt is actually a masculine word. So هذا baytun and not هذه baytun. The next one he gives is a picture of a watch. A watch is sa'atun. So as the ta marbuta indicates, it is a feminine word. So we say ما هذه, هذه ساعة. What is this? This is a watch. Moving down, he's got a picture of a person's feet and legs here, and so the question would be ما هذه. Again, taking into that consideration about the body parts which you have two or more, those things are feminine. So ما هذه, هذه رجل. The next picture he gives of is a bicycle, which the bicycle is daraja. Again a feminine word, so we say هذه دراجة. The next picture is of a car. Car is sayyara, and sayyara is also feminine, so we say هذه سيارة. The last picture in the line is of a window. Window is nafidatun, so we say هذه nafidatun. Moving down, he's got a picture of a person's mouth here. The mouth is famun, so هذا famun, because a person has only one mouth, therefore it is a masculine word. The next one is a pot with a spoon in it, although we're just going to be focusing on the pot itself. So we say هذه قدر. Again, like I mentioned earlier, although qidrun don't have a ta marbuta on it, but it is a feminine word, so therefore we will use the word هذه and not هذا. The next picture he shows is of a hand, which is yadun, but since a person has two hands, that is why it is a feminine word, so we say هذه yadun. The next picture is of a person's nose, so we say هذا أنف. The next picture he gives is of a refrigerator, which is ثلاجة in Arabic, so therefore we say هذه ثلاجة. The next picture is of a key. Key is miftah. Miftah is a masculine word, so therefore we say هذا مفتاح and not هذه مفتاح. Then he's got a picture of an iron to iron clothing with, which is mikwatun, with a ta marbuta on the end, so therefore we say هذه mikwatun. And then there's a picture of a chair, which is kursiyun, a masculine word, so we say هذا kursiyun. Now the last two pictures is of a masjid, which is masculine, so we say هذا masjidun, and the last one is a star, which is najmun, so we say هذا najmun. That is the end of page 36. For now we will stop here. وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد. سبحان الله وبحمده سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك.